Hi, welcome to the Tasker and
Hi,
Mirza
my
Law
name is
Firm.
Kelly
Pleasure
Trainer.
to meet you. I'm Sam.
Orlando
This
Cortez.
is
Nice
my
to meet you.
boyfriend.
Please have a seat here.
Hi, Kelly.
This is my
Hi.
partner,
Nice
Jamie.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Orlando.
meet you. Have a seat.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
Hopefully you guys found the place all right. I hope traffic wasn't that bad.
It was alright, it was doable.
Okay, all right, well, as long as it was doable.
We'd offer you some water, but the secretary's already left for the day. It's kind of late today, so please forgive us.
Oh yeah, Sheila.
For that
I talked to her on
misstep.
the phone. Very nice. Very nice.
Lovely.
Yeah, she's
Lovely.
lovely.
We have the best here. We do.
So, as you may know, everything we speak about in here, it will be confidential in between us. So feel free not to exclude any information that will be kept private.
Now, Kelly, we've got the booking report here, and you're the driver, right? And you're just here for more
I'm just here
support.
to support my wife.
I'm
My
not-
girlfriend.
We're basically married at this
Yeah.
point.
Okay.
I'm very emotional.
Yeah, we
Okay.
share shit too.
I understand that. Just to start off saying this, I know you really want to be here, Orlando. We are going to have to ask you to step out just during this initial consultation. Only reason is that everything that Kelly tells us is confidential, and we don't want to implicate you and having to testify about what we talk about. Just muddies the water.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
If you don't mind, it won't take a lot. We just want to kind of go over the basics here, stuff that I'm sure you already know and are already privy to. So if you'll just step outside in the reception room, we'll try not to keep you too long. Okay?
All right, then. We'll just be
All right.
outside.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to say I'm sorry for your recent arrest. I'm sure it was a scary and stressful experience.
I didn't handle it well.
I'm sorry to hear that. Describe the events in your own words. Tell me exactly what happened at the night of the incident.
Oh my gosh, it was just like a really bad night because I got hit. First of all, I'm like driving and a bus hit me. This is a bus, I know, it was really ridiculous. And then to top it off, I was like really insulted when I got pulled over after that. So I'm all like traumatized from being hit by a bus, and then a cop pulls me over, and then I'm arrested and taken to jail. It was a bad time.
Okay. All right. Kelly, if you don't mind, what we need to do here, and this is the initial consultation, very informal. We've got the report, the police report, which I'm sure you've seen and you've already been involved with, but we kind of want to hear the narrative from your point of view. All right, so start us back at the beginning. You had a few drinks. Were you home? Were you at a bar? How'd the night start off?
I was at a bar because I'm not like an alcoholic or anything. I don't like drink home alone. So anyway, I was out with some people, doing my thing, but it was like barely anything. Like I barely had anything to drink, And then I left, just trying to go home. That's all I was trying to do was just go home. And then out of nowhere, this bus hits me.
Okay.
And and then I got arrested, like put in handcuffs and like put in the back of a cop car. It was very upsetting.
Do you remember the name of the bar you were drinking at? Somewhere you go a lot, or just a new kind of spot to unwind after the day?
It was Gullies.
Gullies? Okay.
What did you have to drink? What were you drinking that night? Was it beer, alcohol, wine, champagne? And exactly how much did you have to drink?
I only had like 4 glasses of wine.
4 glasses of wine.
Yeah, that's like over the course of a couple hours. So I mean, it wasn't like I was like
So it wasn't-
wasted.
Okay, it wasn't 4 glasses in, let's say, 30 minutes. So it was overtime, you'd say?
Yeah,
How long would you say?
probably about like maybe 3 hours.
3 hours. Do you recall at what time did you have your first drink, and then what time you left the bar?
I think I started drinking around like maybe 9, and then I left the bar around like 12.
9 and 12. I see. And you weren't drinking prior to being at the bar?
No.
Did you have any drinks while you were driving?
No. That's the thing.
Okay.
There was like no alcohol in
Well, let me ask you this, because part of what we're trying to do is kind of piece together your narrative with what we see in the booking report. Make sure that there's no inconsistencies, either that the arresting officer jotted down erroneously, or maybe sort of remember some things, don't remember some things. We have here in the report that you had some Crown, some liquor. Was that something that happened later? Did that not happen at all? Was that maybe before the wine? I believe it was Crown.
It was Crown.
Okay, 4 Crown drinks.
I
Or what the report says.
I might have said that, except for I had wine.
Okay. So it was only wine, you're pretty sure.
I did.
Okay.
But you're not 100% sure if it was
No,
just
I'm
one.
sure. I think I was just like nervous when the
Sure,
cop asked me
sure.
questions, and I just like blurted it out.
Okay.
Gotcha. Now, so you said you started drinking at 9. You left the bar at around midnight. You got in the car, started driving. So essentially, not a lot of time passed since you had your last drink and then you started driving.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Now, what time? Now you said that a bus hit you.
A bus.
A bus hit you. So you left the bar at midnight. You started driving. What time did the bus hit you?
Probably like 20 minutes after that.
So around
So
12,
bus, yeah.
20, 12:30. Okay. And you were driving alone. Were nobody else in the car with you?
No.
Okay.
Thank God. Thank God I didn't have like a child with me.
Absolutely. Now you said that the bus struck you, but you didn't stop. You just kept going.
Because I didn't even know like you could get in trouble for this. Like, first of all, they hit me, so I'm like the victim here. And then to top it off, it was like barely any damage. So I was like, why do I have to stop? And it's like late. You know, I'm like a woman. I could get like mugged or killed, kidnapped. We don't know the possibilities are endless. It's just crazy. So I just thought it was in my best interest to keep on driving and like deal with it later. I didn't know it was a problem at all.
Were you, when you were at Goalies, by yourself, or did you meet up with anybody?
I met up with people because, as I said, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink alone.
Sure. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. That can
Just
only
like
help.
now, it's done out there.
Sure. Good. Okay. So you had some friends, and would you say that they drank kind of the same amount with you, on par with you? Were they drinking more? Were they drinking less?
Some of my friends can drink.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, I'm the lightweight of the group.
Okay. All right. So you were the
That's what
more
I'm saying. Like, I'm the responsible one. That's why it's so ridiculous that I got arrested for a DUI.
you were the more tame one of the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just tame all the time anyway, though. I'm not like
Now,
alcoholic.
you said that the damages were minimal. Now,
So minimal.
how did you conclude that the damages were minimal? Did you even get out the car to check for the damages, or you just assumed that the damages were minimal and you should keep going?
Here's the thing. Like, first of all, the like bus hit me, but it didn't hit me like hard enough where like obviously my car was still driving. I looked at the bus and it looked like it was like fine. It didn't look that injured, and it kept driving. So I was like, okay, we're both okay. I'm not getting out of my car at this time of night to be murdered by some crazy person driving a bus.
Okay. Well, what was the weather like during the time of the accident, and did you get a chance to have a look at the bus driver, or did you see who the bus driver was? And
First of all, it was nighttime and they had like dark windows, and I didn't want to look at them. They just hit me.
okay, but how was the night? I mean, was it raining? Was it foggy? Clear night?
It was snowing.
It was snowing. Okay.
Snowing in Jacksonville, which has happened before. Okay. This is, like I said before, maybe we should spend more time talking about this. Our goal in listening to your narrative is to figure out what your options are. And, neither one of us can promise the world. We can't tell you after one meeting and just hearing your story, everything's going to go away just magically, all right? But we want to put your best position forward, okay? And we need to reconcile as much as we can everything that you are telling us today and what we see in the report, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Reason why I bring that up is according to the arresting officer's reports, it wasn't a bus that hit you, but rather you hit another vehicle
That is a lie.
in an intersection.
That's such a lie.
Okay,
I can't even get
what makes you so sure? I mean, you just
Because I saw this bus.
Okay.
It's like a hard to miss.
hard
bus.
to miss a
What?
bus.
Okay. What? Describe this bus to me. What
Oh my
color?
god, it was really big, and it was like right there, like coming at me. I think. Okay,
Was this like a public bus, or a school bus, or a chartered bus? Or
It was not a school bus.
It was not a
I mean,
school
it was like 12:30 at night. There's not like any school buses driving around. No, it was like a bus that like carried like supplies. Like
Okay.
a semi.
Okay. Do you know how fast you were going by chance?
Not fast because I'm a really like safe driver. That's why like they hit me, and that's why I can't believe that the cop was lying.
But I think the speed limit was 45. You
And
say
I
you were going about 45,
Yeah, I
maybe a
was
little
not
under.
going. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I never.
Good.
I don't have any tickets.
So you don't have a prior driving record. Was this your first DUI?
Oh yeah.
This was your first DUI.
Uh-huh.
No speeding tickets, no traffic violations in the past or a history thereof?
Never.
Never. Good driver, huh?
I'm such a safe driver. Like you can ask any of my friends. Like I'm so safe.
Mm-hmm. So what makes you think? So this bus hit you. You kept going. Why do you think?
Scared.
Why do you think the cop pulled you over?
I don't even know why. That's what I was trying to ask them. They
You
didn't care.
weren't disobeying any speeding laws, any traffic laws, yet the cop still pulled you over.
Yeah, and he said I matched a description of somebody who left the scene of a crime, and that's just so unfair because, first of all, the accident that he was referring to doesn't even sound like anything I was involved in, and he mentioned no bus. I tried to tell him about the bus, and he didn't, believe me. It was just a horrible experience. Horrible.
Mm-hmm. Now, what time would you say, okay, so you hit the bus, you kept going. How long after you hit the bus were you pulled over?
Not very long. It was a very short time period. I don't know, 10 minutes.
Within 10 minutes.
That's what I think it was very quick.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And then he starts accusing me of stuff I haven't even done. I tried to say it, and then next thing you know, I'm being arrested.
Well, speaking of him accusing you, describe his attitude towards you, and did he read you your rights?
Yeah, but first off, he pulled me over, and I was really compliant. I pulled over when the lights went on, and I was really respectful, and I lowered my window, and then he was mean to me, and he was yelling at me, telling me that I caused an accident, and then I left, and then he made me do field sobriety exercises because he said my eyes were watery, but I was like, first of all, it's really late, I'm really tired, and it's snowing. It's a crazy night, right?
Sure.
I just got hit by a bus.
Right. Okay. I'm piecing it all together, which is why we're here. You're going a little under 45 miles per hour. You don't have any prior DUIs. Okay. You get into an intersection, a bus hits you, and in your view and in your mindset was the bus's fault, not yours. That you were obeying all traffic laws, all traffic lights. Okay.
All the time.
Okay. And that the police officer pulled you over in the way you describe it, more or less without cause. And
You can ask any of my friends about my driving too.
okay. Do you remember the officer's name by chance, or leave a badge number, anything like that?
No, I didn't even pay attention to him because it was so rude.
Okay. All right. So with all of these events that you're describing, and I have to ask you candidly, and if the answer is no, that's fine. Is there any percentage in your mind, any possibility that your recollection of these events are wrong, or at least off a little bit? That any one detail could be shifted even just a little bit. Reason is, if you get on a stand, and this is thinking way down the lines, long steps ahead, we should never even get to this point, but you're on a stand, we've got to know, most importantly, that you're going to stand by everything that you're telling us today.
I don't really remember much about the accident.
Okay.
You don't?
I think there was a bus. I do think there was a bus. And
Okay.
honestly, my gut
Wait.
tells me it was a Publix bus.
Okay, it was a Publix bus. Okay, now, okay, so you said that you do recollect hitting a bus. It was a big bus.
Well, the bus hit me.
The bus hit you.
Yeah, it was not my fault.
Now, when you started driving, did you consider yourself impaired at all?
Not at all. I never would have gotten into a car. 'Cause I'm a safe, as I said, I'm a safe driver.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Safe driver.
Okay. Just in general, best that you can figure, how much alcohol do you consume per week? You normally go out to Gullies. You normally go with your friends. What would
I
you say?
never drink. That's what I'm telling. I am such a safe driver. I never drink. I'm not an alcoholic. I never drink alone.
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm generally very responsible, and I was in this case, and this is so unfair that this happened to me.
Did you take a breathalyzer? I understand that you agreed to be
No,
pulled off to the
I
side.
did not do a
Okay.
breathalyzer. I just did these field exercises, and then he told me I did a bad job on them.
Okay. Do you remember what the exercises were?
He made me walk. Okay, now this is at 12:30 at night, so I'm exhausted,
Okay.
and just got into an accident, and he's making me walk a straight line.
Okay.
Okay, so
And then he made me do this thing where he made me follow his finger.
how would you consider, given the nighttime, snowy conditions, how would you think you did on these sobriety tests? Did you think you did a good enough job where you...
I was very, very frazzled. He was making me really nervous. He was yelling at me, and it was very late. And I kept telling him I was really tired, and he didn't care. And he said I I was gonna do it until like I was gonna stay there until I completed it. It was very
Okay.
stressful, so I
Did
don't even know how I did.
Did you feel like you were harassed during this?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
he
yeah.
harassed you.
I was crying and he didn't even care. He didn't even ask if I needed medical attention, and I just got into an accident. He didn't even care about that.
Well, were you hurt during the accident? Did you need medical assistance?
I told him I had a really bad headache,
Okay.
and my head did hurt.
Now let's talk about the timeline briefly, okay? Because you mentioned that the accident happened around 12:30 in the morning. Now the arrest report kind of puts it a little bit later, puts it around 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, a
That's
little bit
because
after
it took
2.
so long because he was making me stay there.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
The reason why I bring it up is the officer described your appearance as unsteady, slurred speech, things like that, which is normally indicative of somebody that may have an alcohol
Or an
impairment.
accident.
Or an accident, or and this is sort of what I was thinking when I read the report, maybe some kind of sleep deprivation. I mean, it's early in the morning. You've been
So
up all
tired.
day.
Yeah, 'cause I work full time.
You work full time,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm
It's
just
exhausting.
kind of wondering how much of your appearance may be actually attributed to just tiredness at
Exhaustion.
somebody who's going to be still awake at 2:30,
Exactly.
2:50
I
in
was
the
so
morning.
tired. That's why I was just trying to go home so I could go to sleep.
Okay. And about how far away did you live from Gullies? Do you know? Miles, 10 miles, 35?
Probably about like maybe 15 to 20.
Okay.
Not really good at distance, but it was like not that long of a drive.
15, 20 miles? Or minutes?
Maybe.
Okay, minutes.
And my friends, because they live on another side of town, so yeah.
Okay.
So I think so. You know, we get it that you work full time. You were
Mhm.
exhausted.
Just exhausted.
I think the question is mainly trying to get at is how much sleep did you have the night before? Did you have a full nights of sleep the night before?
No, I did not because
You
I was
didn't.
staying up doing this project for work.
Okay, so how many hours of sleep did you have the night before?
I don't know, probably 6.
Okay. Is that
Maybe
about normal?
5.5. No,
That's a
I
lot
am one of
less.
those people that needs like 8 hours of sleep. So this is not typical for me, and this is just not a good time for me. I don't handle not sleeping long.
Okay.
Would you say you were sleep deprived?
But yeah, and I was just exhausted.
All right. So sleep, we're going to say about 5.5, 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about 5.5 hours. I'll just put that for now. All right, we only have a couple more questions, I think.
Yeah, you know, as you know, and you know, this is an initial meeting. It's sort of limited to about 30 minutes. You know, we can't dive into all the topics. We mainly gather the facts and information that we need. Do you remember, just so you know, we can kind of gauge your memory and stuff that night? Do you remember if you were taking any medications, or are you prescribed any medications, or no?
I didn't.
None at all. No,
No.
even ibuprofen,
Over
something
the
over the
counter?
counter.
No, because I'm not a lamp.
Okay, fair enough. All right, and speaking of the member, do you remember? You mentioned when the actual accident happened. You don't remember a lot. Now you're pretty sure it was a bus. Your memory, for the most part, is serving you well. Do you remember what you were wearing? Do you
Oh yeah.
remember how many friends
Yeah,
that you met at Gullies?
Yeah, I met 30, and we were all dressed really cute that night.
Okay.
Really, really cute.
Well, I'll just put dress cute. How about that?
Yeah, it was just really cute.
Okay, fair enough. All right, no medication. Let me just run over my notes here and let's see if we're missing anything that we need to go back and talk about. Most importantly, you don't consider yourself to be impaired prior to driving that night.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 glasses of wine. The crown here in the arrest report you're contesting.
That is a lot.
That's just nervousness. That's just uncertainty.
I don't even think I said it. I think he just heard
Okay.
4 glass. I think I said 4 glasses. Maybe I didn't even specify what it was, but it was wine. It wasn't 4 glasses of crown. I don't know what he's talking about.
So there's a possibility.
I
we
don't
could have
drink
misheard
that.
you.
Okay, the bartender would tell you I drink.
Speaking of which, could we get the bartender to possibly testify? You know, we would, depending on where this leads to, if it does lead to trial and we need an expert witness, is there any evidence that you could furnish to prove that
Oh
you
my god,
were
yeah,
not
the bartender there loves me.
Okay, so you have a prior
His eyes
relationship.
tested really, really well that night.
Okay. As we close, do you have anything else to say before we talk about?
You know, I think we hit on all the
Okay.
points. Do you?
Well, but one thing we always like to do before we close out the initial meetings, 2 things. Number one, briefly talk about the next steps and sort of what our fee schedule is, so that you can make a determination if you want us to represent you or not. And so I'm going to go over that real quick, and then Mr. Mirza here, he's going to finish with just some things that we're going to need from you. If we take your case, if you want us to take your case, what we're going to need from you before our next meeting, okay? So retainer fee, with what you're telling me, contesting the police report as far as the crown, okay? There just is a big difference between 4 glasses of wine and 4 to however many crowns, okay? There's a big difference. So we're going to contest what's in here. Okay, we've got an argument. We've got a case. All right. Our fee schedule is $250 per hour. We work on retainer. DUI is something that we've done pretty frequently. We're pretty familiar with it, with what we need. $250 an hour is pretty fair. But we don't want you to make a decision today. Okay, you think about it. It's a cost commitment for you. It's a commitment for us. So on both sides, we need to, I say, take a day or two. However much time that you need to decide whether or not you want us to represent you. If you do, you just call us. You know the fee schedule. We'll need a down payment of $2,500, and that just gets us started with the preliminary things that we need to do, talking to the lead investigator of your case, dealing with the veracity of this report and whatnot. But following that, the retainer's $250 an hour. Pretty simple. We're very transparent. We keep you apprised of everything that we do that costs money. You'll be with us every step of the way. Mr. Mirza will tell you just what we'll need from you if you decide you want us to represent you. I think that's all we need.
So a little bit of homework for you. Better help your case. We're going to need 2 witnesses. Ideally, one should be the bartender who could testify to you having only 4 glasses of wine that night and only having 4 glasses of drink that night. Another witness that we would need is probably a close friend or someone who has a business relationship with you that can testify about your drinking habits. You say you don't drink without your friends or things like that. So is there any way we could get who we could use as a witness to agree with your or clarify your drinking habits?
Yeah, I can get a whole list of my friends that all be down.
Perfect. Do you have any questions for us?
Nope.
Is there any other information that is there anything that you feel like we might have missed? Is there any other information that you think we should know or be made aware of?
No, I told you everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're set. I would just only add to what you said is if you can, given that you're at Goalies and you've been there a lot, if you've got a receipt of that night, that'd be great.
I don't know.
They might have a record.
That's true. I asked about you. So
something
I'll
like that would speak to the wine versus the crown, part of the fact pattern. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. No more questions for us.
No
Do you have
more.
anything else?
Nope. If you have any questions, feel free to email us or contact us.
Calls anytime. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys
Thank you
so
so much, Kelly.
Appreciate you coming in.
Appreciate your
Thank you
help.
very
Thank you.
much.